Alright, what is up guys? Today we're going to be making this little paper gift box today. Now, you can do it with or without a lid. Depends on what you want to do. If you're going to use it for a gift, I'd probably make a lid. But you're going to make two pieces exactly the same. The only difference is one of them, for the lid, is going to be a tiny bit bigger. So you're just going to size them a little differently, and I'll show you a little bit on how to size them. But I'm just going to make the smaller piece, and then that's all we're going to do. And then obviously I'll tell you how to size it a little bit, but I'll just make one and then we'll go from there. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to need two pieces of paper. They're going to need to be square, but I'm using copy paper, so we're going to have to turn it into a square. So what we're going to do is take like either this top corner, either this corner right here, or this corner right here, and fold it down so the top side is along either one of these sides. Now, in order to make it perfect, just line it up till this comes to a point here. But if you want to make it a little bit bigger or smaller, either way, when it's at that point, just bring it back a little bit. Just a tiny bit. So you want it a tiny bit smaller. So just bring it back a tiny bit so it's not quite at a point over here. Or you bring it a little bit further out. But either way, that's how you're going to size them differently. So you can go ahead and make the crease all the way along after you fold it over, because you're going to need that crease. You're going to want that crease anyways. So it's leftover flap. So there should be that leftover little flap after you fold it like that. So what you're going to want to do is just either tear or cut that off. For the video purposes, I'm just going to use scissors. So you're just going to want to take that off. And throw it away. Now I'm going to keep my scissors on the side because we're going to use them a little bit later as well. But you should have like this little triangle and this little flap like this. You want to unfold that flap. You see how you have this diagonal crease right here? Well, what you're going to want to do is diagonal it the other way. So you're going to want to take the other points and fold it diagonally as well. And the better the creases you get, the better and the more lined up you are, the better your box is going to look. So now that you have this little X, it's a little hard to see, but now that you have an X in your paper, what you're going to do is take each 4 points and fold them into each of the 4 points and fold them directly into the middle. Again, lining up as good as you can, because the better you line these up, the better your box is going to turn out, and the more somebody's going to like it. So now that you have all those folded in, you should have a little square. You want to unfold all of these. Now we should have something like this. So we should have a giant box right here in the middle, and then obviously all these are folded. So what you're going to take, you're going to want to take those creases we just made. You're going to want to take each corner and fold it to the opposite crease. So like this corner, you're going to want to take to this opposite crease right here and fold it right into the middle, like so. Just like that. Crease it all the way down, and then after you're done with that form, we'll unfold and do the same with the other 3 points. So just fold them all the way over to that crease and go around in a circle. Fold to that crease again, lining up the best you can. The best you do this, and the more you line it up the better it's going to look. Now, with that same, we're going to want to fold each point to that same crease, but what you're going to want to do is, it's this crease again, right? The one that makes the little box. So what you're going to do is take this point and fold it to that crease. So you're going to want to fold it to the each point and fold it to the closest crease, and do it directly in the middle of that line. So this crease, this middle crease, should both line up, and you're going to want to do that for the remaining 3 points. And now you're basically done with all the base folds. So now basically, I'm going to take out my Sharpie for demonstration purposes. So now basically what you should have, there's a little box in the middle that's going to be 4 squares. So it's going to be 2 by 2 squares, like so. Let me just draw it up, and it's going to have like a little cross in the middle, like so. So that you're going to want to leave alone. Do not do anything with that. That little box is going to be like the base. So that part is going to basically be this bottom base in the middle. So you're not going to want to really mess with that too much. But what you're going to want to see, is if you fold along that crease on either 2 sides, so you're going to want to do it on both sides. If you fold along that crease like that, that crease that folds directly against this line, this crease right here that goes all the way across, you should have 2 little boxes. You should have a square and like half a square here, and then 2 squares, 1, 2 right here. What you're going to do is that crease all the way across, you're going to want to rip it without, so you're going to want to rip it to each of these corners, leaving this piece in the middle, this part of the crease in the middle right here. You're going to want to leave that attached. You're going to want to do the same thing on that side. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it just for purposes of this. So basically you're going to cut to that little corner of the crease and then just stop. So that you should get this little flap. And quite go far enough. But you're gonna get this little flap like that. That's gonna end up folding directly along this crease, like that. So you're gonna want to do that for the remaining little 3. And don't accidentally cut this way. Like, don't cut this way and then accidentally start cutting this way, because that's gonna mess up your box and you're gonna have to restart. You only want to do it to these 4 pieces. And obviously, like I said, the more you line things up, the better it's going to be. And if you want to do it true origami style, you're not going to be using scissors. I normally don't. I'm just doing this for tutorial purposes. So now we're going to be done with our scissors. But you should have all these 4 flaps like that fold in along that line. So what you're going to do is take these 2 triangle pieces that are on the sides like this, where the folds are like this, and you're going to want to fold. So basically you're going to want to fold along this crease, like this middle crease. So not the one that the box is on, but the middle one. You're going to want to fold directly down onto that, into the middle of the box. And it should come pretty close to the middle of the box. And then what you see is you have these 2 creases. So the crease that is the middle of the box right here, or that's on the boxes, and then now this triangle piece, this crease on the triangle piece should line up with that crease. So what basically you're going to be doing now is you're going to be folding along that crease. So you're going to want to fold in along that crease. So basically, if you want to make it a little easier, just kind of fold this triangle back on itself on that crease so you don't mess it up. But you're just going to want to fold it into the middle like so. So that way that triangle is kind of reverse fold from where it was. So again, the triangle creases in like this. But when you're done, you're going to want to have the triangle crease out like this. So you're just going to basically fold the triangle back on itself. And now you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now you're going to want to unfold these halfway. So you're going to want them having straight up and down. Those triangle pieces should still stay in the middle. Now what you should notice too is this crease along the side of the box should go all the way through. And now this flap is just a little tiny flap like this. So what you're going to want to do is all 4 of those flaps on the sides, you're going to want to fold them all into the center. You can flatten it out for this part, it's going to be a little bit easier. But you're going to want to flatten them all out into the center. Again, the more you line things up and the better your creases are, the better your box is going to turn out. So you're going to flip it around and do the same thing here, just fold it along those creases. Now you don't have to draw this little thing in the middle, I just did it for demonstration purpose. But now you're going to want to kind of unfold these halfway and then fold these back into the middle. So what should happen is it should start to take the look of, it should look like a box. So So it should be your box, but these flaps are here. So what you got to do is take each side. So I'm going to turn it. I'm going to take each side and do basically what we did here when you got to fold the center crease into the middle and reverse this triangle crease. So I'm going to reverse the triangle crease before I even fold it into the middle. But you want to make sure that you like pinch inside, like in the corners, just like pinch inside or on the outside, and then kind of do this, kind of put this one over, so that middle crease, because there's this crease, and then the triangle crease. So that middle crease is going to basically go around this. It's going to like hug this and go around that. And you just want to make sure you keep those little points in the middle. Keep these little flaps in the middle. And then just kind of flatten everything out. Tighten up your creases. And you should have something that looks like that on the side of the box. So that side of your box should be done. Now you just want to flip it around and do the same thing. So basically what I did was I just held this inside. I'm going to put this one inside. Kind of made sure that these two pieces were just touching together, like right along that crease. The bottom would be right along that crease right there in the middle. And then I just grabbed this, reversed my triangle fold, because it's going to be easier that way. I just reversed my triangle fold, and then I pick this piece up, and basically all I'm doing is just wrapping. I'm just wrapping these remaining folds around this little piece. All I'm doing is wrapping it around these two flaps. Just making sure those two flaps stay together, and just wrapping it around, and then tightening up all my creases. When I'm done, just making sure all my creases are nice and firm, and that's how you get your box. Now, if you want the lid, or if you want the lid, just make one a little bit bigger. If you want to use this as a lid, just make it a little bit smaller. And you can use this with whatever size paper you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that was helpful, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.